So you hold a bad citizenship. You come from a country where you are born into a citizenship and therefore a passport that is less than ideal and has very low visa-free travel access. In this video, we're going to talk about what some of your options are. If you are a wealthy entrepreneur around the globe, here are some of the jurisdictions where it makes the most sense for you to start your journey and then to continue your journey into global diversification. So there are a few golden visa and also citizenship by investment programs that are of interest, but we're going to start with the heavy hitter, which is the Caribbean island citizenships. Now, this is access to a new citizenship. You're not getting a residency or a golden visa and working your way in time toward an additional citizenship. This is truly having a second citizenship with likely better visa free travel access than your current citizenship. If you're a citizen of India, of Pakistan, of Lebanon, of Syria, these are all difficult citizenships in order to travel on. And the Caribbean citizenship, while it may not have access to all of the countries that you're looking to travel to, especially Western countries, visa free, you do still have access to many more countries and even the EU and the Schengen area than likely from your original home country travel document. So yes, while we have seen in mid 2024 the minimums for all five Caribbean countries citizenship baseline increase from 100,000 to 200,000, we do still believe that it is beneficial to hold a Caribbean citizenship, especially if you are coming from a weaker country and you're needing that visa-free travel access. And then you can use your Caribbean citizenship to start applying for different residency programs and golden visa programs under that citizenship. So, immediate access to citizenship, we have Caribbean as still one of the top options. Are these investment options where you can essentially purchase a passport going to be on the table forever? The answer we believe is likely no. The restrictions and the limitations around obtaining these citizenships are going to become more and more difficult, potentially to a point down the line. And this is not in the near future, but down the line where it just no longer becomes beneficial in order to obtain one of these citizenships. So you have the Caribbean citizenship. Now, the next option that we recommend to clients is another citizenship by investment program. It has become slightly more difficult and minimums will likely be increased in the future. And this is Turkey. Now, Turkey does have a very interesting citizenship. There are a lot of immigrants in Turkey. I've lived there myself, and it is a very interesting country if you're looking to relocate full time or if you're looking to have a stronger travel document and especially travel within that part of the world. Now, the minimums right now is an investment in real estate in 400,000 in Turkey. However, we do see this increasing likely to 600,000 in the next year or 2 years due to the large influx of immigrants taking advantage of this program. As they always will, programs will continue to increase, minimums will increase, and the qualifications will become more difficult. So Turkey is also an interesting option where 400,000 you're not only getting property, but you're also getting access to their citizenship. So next up, we are moving over to Europe. While there are very few jurisdictions where you can simply outright purchase a citizenship in Europe, there are beneficial golden visa programs. These programs are changing, again, becoming more difficult. If you got in a few years ago, it will have been likely much more beneficial because you could get in via real estate options. However, the Portugal golden visa is still an interesting option. Yes, you do have to now invest 500,000 in a fund. Real estate option is no longer on the table, but 500,000 in Portugal will allow you access in 5 years time to the Portuguese citizenship, which is a very strong travel document, one of the best in the world. The other option is the Spanish golden visa. Real estate, again, no longer on the table, unfortunately, both Portugal and Spain. These are fairly new updates as of 2024, where the real estate investment option is unfortunately no longer on the table. But Spain does have an interesting golden visa option if you're looking to invest in Spain. If you're looking in Europe, another interesting jurisdiction, it's going to be at a higher price point, but is Malta. For essentially $1 million, you're going to have some donations included in that, some rental or purchase of property included in that. But within Malta, you can essentially pay close to $1 million, likely just over a million. And that is going to be a donation to the country. For the most part, yes, you're going to be living in Malta. And they will give you access to their citizenship. So this operates similar to a Caribbean CVI program. It is going to take a similar time frame. It's not going to be something where within a month or two it's completed. You're looking closer to 1 year for the multi-citizenship by investment program, but this is an option. They also do have a residency by investment program for a lower minimum. But if you're looking at around $1 million, then that is a very strong travel document that you can hold. Now, of course, in any of these countries that we have mentioned, and in most countries throughout Europe, Latin America, and various other regions in the globe, you can work your way toward naturalization. Now, if you don't necessarily have starting at 200,000 up to a million plus in order to invest, then you're looking at naturalization, which is really investing your time instead of your money. Yes, there is a financial component involved, but it's not quite as steep. You do have to work your way toward naturalization, and through that, you have to initially start with residency on the ground. So, again, Spain does have some interesting options where you can qualify for residency in the country, and it does take 10 years. So, you again are spending your time over your money, but you can work your way toward naturalization. And most countries in Europe and in Latin America do have a pathway to this. So, next up, we're going to move over to Latin America. A lot of clients with weaker citizenships are interested in Latin America because it is known as a fairly straightforward pathway and continent to residency. However, I will caveat that with saying that if you only have a weaker citizenship, you don't have a Caribbean passport, you don't have a Maltese passport, you don't have a European passport. If you only have, as an example, your Indian passport, your Pakistani passport, it's going to be quite difficult in order for you to get the visa. We do have firsthand experience with this. It's going to be difficult for you to initially get the visa to even travel to the country. And of course, you have to be in any of these countries, especially within Latin America. We're looking at Paraguay, Argentina, Panama, Colombia. You have to be in these countries in order to start the residency process, and then that can start your time frame for naturalization if you would like to naturalize in the future. However, we do unfortunately see that a lot of these countries in Latin America make it very difficult, very time consuming, if they will even at all grant the visa in order for you to initially travel to the country in Latin America to start the process. So Latin America is a very interesting option, but usually it's more beneficial, unfortunately, if you have visa free access. And of course, you're obtaining the visa if you do need a visa to enter said country in your home country or in the country where you're currently residing. But we have seen very long wait times, and then sometimes after long wait times, a denial of the visa. So in these countries in Latin America, it's going to be much easier to get started on residency processes if you already have a passport that has visa free access. And if that is not the case, then somewhere like Caribbean, somewhere like Turkey is going to be more beneficial for you to get started as having that second passport and then applying from residencies based on that passport. And if you are interested in learning more about how that could look for you to obtain a Caribbean citizenship, Turkish citizenship, reach out to us and book a call with us below. So, one interesting jurisdiction within Latin America, and again, this is dependent on which countries have visa free access to this country, is Mexico. So, Mexico, there are many immigrants. We help many of our clients to obtain residency through qualifying income in Mexico. Still very straightforward, but it does increase about 20% every year based on the minimum amount that they want to see of either income or a lump sum amount in a bank or an investment account in order to qualify. So every year residency does become more difficult in Mexico. But if you qualify, you can typically qualify right now with about $5,000 or $6,000 of income monthly, qualify for residency, go to Mexico, and you can start the naturalization process. So naturalization in Mexico, there is no investment option, but if you are looking to naturalize in the country, it takes 5 years. However, the last 2 years of this 5 year naturalization process is really the only time that you're going to be required to have a significant amount of time spent on the ground. So you have to have 18 of the 24 months, the last 24 months of your application. So years 4 and 5, 18 of those months are going to need to be spent in Mexico. Other than that, the time requirement is very insignificant if you're looking to naturalize in Mexico. And of course, in Mexico or in most countries around the globe, if you marry a local, the process is going to be faster and more streamlined. So, yes, if you have a weaker citizenship, you do still have options. You either have your time that you can invest, and that's time from not only naturalizing and getting residency, but also time to wait for your visa to be processed. But you also have the option of money in order to obtain a straightforward second, even third citizenship. And then from there, start diversifying and applying for additional residencies, even bank and investment accounts globally based on your new citizenship. If you're interested in learning more, book a call with us below. And if you would like to continue your global citizen optimization journey, click on the video on the screen now, and I'll see you in that video.